Welcome back to the channel, guys. So today we're going to be taking a look at a brand new product from E.O.N, the GCHD MK2. Essentially, this is a revised version of the GCHD, which was one of the first widely available GC video adapters on the market. Essentially, what these adapters are a no mod required HDMI converter that allows real GameCube hardware to produce the highest native resolution possible on any HD TV while eliminating all input lag. So we'll go ahead and take a look at this. It does have a lot of new added features and benefits over the previous model, and it's the same price, so that's a good thing, right? We do get our little instruction manual, which essentially just goes over how to set up the IR remote if you do want to use one. We'll talk about that in a moment, and just a few other features with it. We don't need that. So here is the actual adapter. Now, I have the silver one. It's also available in indigo and black, so all the colors of the original GameCube that were released in North America. It essentially looks the same as the GCHD, other than, hey, it does say MK2 there, right? But there are some differences. So taking a look at this side, we do have our digital port and our analog. Now, in the previous version, the analog port was just a dummy port. This time it actually serves a little bit more of a purpose. Previously, it was just there for stability, and a lot of people did like that, and it made sense. It did make this thing more stable in your system to where you didn't have to worry about it getting bumped out or anything getting messed up. It definitely sat in the system very well. So on one side, we do have our HDMI port. On the back side, we have a brand new port, which is pretty damn sweet in my opinion. This right here takes Wii component cables or SCART. So that is really cool because you're getting RGB or component through your GameCube. A lot of people do like to use component on the GameCube if they have those expensive ass cables. Those things go for a few $100 and not a lot of people can get a hold of them. So this gives you a pretty cool solution with that. But beyond that, I don't think that's necessarily the biggest thing, but it is a cool benefit to be able to use SCART or RGB, or component, I mean. But you can also have dual output with HDMI and component. And that can be important for some people, specifically maybe Smash players who are competitive and they want to have two monitors set up to play that way. So this provides that. That is definitely a cool thing. So going back to this analog port, we do have an 3.5 millimeter jack here. So this is going to provide, auxiliary output for your audio, or you can use mini Toslink to get digital optical audio. So pretty cool. You could set up your audio in many different ways, or you can use this for headphones if you want. I've tried that and it works great, but I do have one little issue, but I don't think it's an issue many people will care about, but I'm going to mention it anyway. While recording video and audio through my capture card, if I'm running component through the Wii and I'm tapping into the headphone jack using headphones, my recorded audio is going to be down by about 70% of what it should be. If I'm running through HDMI and I have a headphones in, the audio is 100%. So I'm not 100% why it does that. If you don't have a headphone jack in here, your audio comes out loud and clear on a recording. If you're not recording anything, your audio is fine either way, no matter how you do it. But I just thought that was something to point out. We do have a little button here. The button is to set up your IR remote. So that is a cool thing. This does support NTSC, NTSC-J, and PAL consoles. So you can expect 240p, 480i, and 480p supported resolutions on NTSC. And on PAL, you can expect 288p, 576i, and 576p supported resolutions on those systems. So that's definitely a really cool thing. The other big thing with this is the lagless input using your controllers. The input's instant, and I can attest to that. It does look great. So we will take a look at a little bit of gameplay footage in a moment here so you can see a comparison between both using an official Wii component cable and running through HDMI. And we'll take a look at the little settings menu so you can see what to expect through that. But it's fairly similar to the previous version. The only thing that I can really point out with this is the plastic and whatnot, it doesn't look the greatest in my opinion. The paint, you know, the white over the top of this, it's not perfect looking, but it really doesn't bother me too much. But something worth pointing out, it's put together fine, but it does look a little cheap. But what you're getting is actually some amazing stuff. So looks can be deceiving. That's just one of my impressions with the devices. Yeah, it does look a little cheap. It has a little heft to it. It's not crazy heavy, but it's not light by any means. But yeah, just that look with the paint, just kind of not major, but worth pointing out. Now, this thing does fit fairly snugly into the, let me take the memory card out. Fits very snug into the system here. Not crazy hard to push it in, but you get it in, it's in there. It's not going anywhere. I'm actually lifting it up just by that. I got my hand under there just in case I drop it. Don't want to do that. But it sits in there nicely. It's not like crazy hard to take out or crazy hard to put back in. So that's definitely a cool thing. So taking a look at some gameplay footage here, I'll let you take a look at the component footage first and listen to some audio so you can see what to expect that way.
I'm ready!
Welcome to Dolphin Park. This is day one of the circuit.
Hey Akari, hit the gas just as the light goes green and you'll have full power.
3, 2, 1, go!
Good, that going past is perfect. That's the way. It's turbo time.
So there you go. Everything is really crisp looking. Can't really complain with the audio or the visuals through component. I think it's definitely a cool thing to be able to use component cables this way. It works out great. And hey, you know, if your TV supports it, hey, you could use your old Wii component cables using this device. Now let's go ahead and take a look at some HDMI output so you can get an idea of what to expect that way.
I'm ready!
Welcome to Dolphin Park. This is day one of the circuit.
Hey Akari, hit the gas just as the light goes green and you'll have full power.
3, 2, 1, go!
Good, that going past is perfect. We've got a turbo now.
Now with HDMI, it's kind of hard to compare because they both look the same. They're both doing 480p with this game that I chose to display. You know, you can enable progressive scan. A lot of games allow that. Some games you got to hold P or the B button to enable that once you boot the game up. Some games will just give you the option to switch to it. But yeah, between component and HDMI, looks amazing. So I think this is a cool thing where if you want to be able to display on both, you know, two different monitors at once for whatever reason, that is pretty darn cool. Now, does this really, you know, require a new purchase if you already own the old version? I wouldn't say so unless the added features to this thing are something you can really utilize. You know, being the same price as the previous model, it's still kind of a high price. Some people aren't going to be able to grasp that. It's 150 bucks. Yes, I can agree. That is a pretty high price. For what you're getting though, I think it's worth it. And some people you know, will realize what you're really getting here. You know, to get something like this internally modded on your system, if you don't know how to do it yourself, you're going to spend some money. And I think using an adapter like this is pretty cool because the integrity of your system stays the same. You don't have to open it, you don't have to cut anything out to put HDMI in there. Everything's just a plug and play solution. Being able to use headphones or, you know, using the optical, you know, digital audio is really cool too. You know, some people really love the GameCube and want to get the best audio possible, and this adapter allows for that. You know, using the settings screen for this device, if you have a universal remote, it's not required, but you do get access to some scan lines and a few other features. Nothing crazy, and like I said, it's not required at all. You do have line doubler mode if you're, you know, in 480i or, you know, interlaced modes. You can utilize that. Some TVs may not support that. It's just all going to depend, but typically, you know, I haven't had an issue. I've used it in 480i and then used the line doubler mode. Now my capture card won't work with that, but every TV I've tested it on has been fine. No issues whatsoever. So I just wanted to share this product with you guys. I think it's pretty sweet. Am I going to be able to utilize all the features on this thing? Probably not to the fullest, I would say. I'm definitely going to be using the component output and, you know, the headphone jack to be able to use headphones while I'm recording audio, or if I'm streaming. I think that's pretty cool. Hey, that also comes in the, you know, benefit if you're in a house and you're playing your GameCube late and people are trying to sleep, you could tap in your headphones and listen that way. So that's a cool thing there. The mini toss link I probably won't use. Will I use this with a dual monitor setup? Probably not. But there's still going to be a lot of people who can utilize those features. And hey, if it's something you're interested in, I'll put a link in the description that you can check out. It's not an affiliate link or anything like that. I don't make any commissions from the sales off of it. So that's up to you. Pretty cool device. Yeah, it's a little expensive. The build quality's okay, but the paint kind of throws me off a little bit. But overall, I'm not staring at this thing while I'm using it, so I think the little imperfections with the paint really aren't something too off-putting to me. Just something I have to point out to you guys. So really do appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Smash that like button, subscribe, make sweet ass love to that notification bell. And with that said, guys, I will catch y'all next time. Peace out, bye-bye, and boom!